Austin, what's it mean to the group? Matt Murray's pretty close to getting back. What will it be like to have him back?
Yeah, it's been great seeing him on the ice and just doing his thing. So he's been putting in a lot of work to come back. And obviously, his health comes first, so we wanted to come back. Obviously, feeling at his best, but obviously we'd love to see him back, especially with Ilya going down a little bit.
In your past experience, what is that feeling like when you're rehabbing and you're back with the group and you're kind of imminent days away? What's the excitement level like for a guy like that?
I think it's really exciting. I mean, it's tough when you're away from the team. You kind of feel like a little bit isolated and stuff, and which isn't the best feeling. But obviously, you're just trying to work and get yourself back and do just good health. And so it's just been really good to see him on the ice. He's been, like I said, putting a lot of work in, and obviously a guy that's extremely motivated to make a difference for our team. So we're looking forward to having him back when he's ready.
There are a lot of moments in that Vegas game where you felt you guys were really playing your game. I know it wasn't a full 60, but there was real flashes of really good play.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of maybe what we were alluding to the last couple of weeks is the consistency, and obviously our starts and stuff have been a little bit of an issue. But I think there was a lot of really good things that we did in the Vegas game, but obviously some stuff that we didn't do very well that cost us parts of the game. So I think it's just finding a nice happy medium in between and just playing a little bit more of a consistent game throughout the 60 minutes and finding those good moments that we're creating a lot and putting a lot of pressure on their players and trying to replicate that throughout the game.
How does it change your line having Alex there?
I don't know if it changes it too much. I think two different players, but both guys easy to play with, super smart. I mean, Kerf, he's very versatile, so you can kind of count on him all over the ice, and it doesn't really matter, what position we're in. I think just his IQ and everything, fills in good spots out there and gets in the open space. Obviously, his skating and his puck movement is really good as well.
What play from Mitch popped more for you on Tuesday night, his goal or his assist?
Both were pretty special plays, obviously. Those are, not too many people making those plays. I thought his goal was awesome, but just the poise to have and pump fakes and everything that kind of goes into it in that tight space. So I'd probably put that one as my favorite play from him from the other night. But both plays obviously extremely skilled and very special.
When he makes plays like that, what does it do for the bench, like those magical type moments?
I think it just kind of gets, he puts you on the edge of your seat, so I think it just kind of gives you, maybe a little momentum shift in the game, and your top guys kind of takes over like that. So, like I said, just all right play by him, and just a lot of fun to watch.
How difficult is it to shoot across your body like that when you're in motion? We still see it, but not.
Yeah, not easy, and just you see when it's slowed down, everything, just his edge work and just the detail and focus that he has there, and like I said, that really tight space was just what I thought would make the play so special.
Sidney Crosby continues to do what he does. Or respect level he pull from even more given the age that he is, Austin, and continues to dominate.
Yeah, he's obviously pretty incredible, and I just think the way he's, like you said, been able to continue to dominate, continue to produce, and that team continues to be in the playoffs every single year, and obviously backed by him and a couple other guys that have been there for a long time. But obviously he's kind of the leader of that team and the guy that keeps it going. So even as he's gotten a little bit older, I just feel like he's adjusted his game and just continued to be so effective out there, no matter what the situation is. So it's really impressive, and obviously a guy that presents a big challenge for opposing teams. So there'll be a lot of obviously attention on him now, as well as some other guys too.
Hall of Fame weekend. Did you take anything from how the Sedins played off each other, the chemistry that they were able to have? I don't know if you can take something from the Twins, you can grab that kind of ESP, but what's popped or what stood out to you about that?
I feel like that connection's kind of one of a kind, I think, and especially when you get two twin brothers that play with each other and have that sense of connection. I think it's you're not going to find that too often. So it was a lot of fun watching those guys kind of do their thing throughout the years.
Imagine looking over and seeing other Austin Sanders.
Yeah, I don't know. With a mustache, it'd be creepy. But I always wanted a brother, but I never got one. But it's cool. They were unbelievable players, obviously, and like I said, their connection, I'm not sure you're really finding that too often.
Mitch, Sheldon felt like he kind of took it to another level there in the second period on Tuesday night. Did you feel like you kind of did that your game reached a new level for this season at least in that game?
Probably, yeah. I mean, just for carrying the puck up ice-wise, getting entries with the puck in my hands, and kind of just making plays off the rush, and definitely felt like, best I've felt so far.
How satisfying is it to see the puck go in, because the goals hadn't been flowing on your goal, because also obviously the degree of difficulty was quite high?
Yeah, no, it felt good. I mean, it always just feels good when it goes across the goal line, regardless of who puts it in, really. But obviously when you do it yourself and you get rewarded for it, it's a good feeling. So just tried to wait out Johnny there for a couple extra seconds and not try and hit him in the back of the leg, and lucky enough won it.
How much confidence do you take from the stretches again today, I guess, where you guys just seem to play the way that you guys really wanted to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like, that whole second period, I think we really did a good job of that. Thought we did a pretty good job in the third, too. Gave up a couple, but, we talk about being strong through the neutral zone. I think at times in that game we were very strong throughout. We're very good with our pucks, being direct, getting them in, carrying them in, making plays, and that's just how we got to play more. We just got to play with that confidence, knowing that we can do that. And obviously, at the same time, not forcing stuff and knowing when the right time is to dump and chase. And, our team's very good at getting those pucks back, so I don't think either one really bothers us, just making sure we know the scenario.
Hey, Mitch, I know the respect level for Crosby is always there, but at his age...
Sorry, you don't think...
I think that the respect level for Crosby is always there among you guys. But the age he is now, the adjustments he continues to make, nothing's come off his game. Does that respect level go a bit higher for him, given the adjustments he's making now?
I mean, I think in my eyes, that's who I see as, the best of going up just past couple of years. Obviously, David, Austin, and a couple other guys have been really taking it to another level as well, but just Crosby overall, I mean, that's a guy I've always watched growing up. Was always a guy you wanted to be on the ice against, play against, if you're lucky enough, and it's always a cool one when you get to line up against them and play against that big three they have. That's that roster that you grew up watching, a lot of Team Canada, stuff like that. And, you're always getting a challenging game, and guys that work, compete, make it hard on you all over the ice. And obviously when they have it in their hands, they can make a lot of things happen. So I think everyone always has a lot of respect for those guys and that team, and they're never out of it.
When he gets the puck and you're on the ice against him, what's the thought process there?
Well, obviously you want to try and close gap, timing, try and, I guess, make it suffocating in a way of try not to give him any really plays or feel. But, that line's played together for a long time. They're very good at finding those holes and gaps of making it seem like there's nothing really around or happening, and then, a quick little pop play and it's a 2-on-1 at the net or something like that. So you just got to make sure all five guys are connected as a unit on the ice, not giving them any easy chances of going down the ice, making them at the same time defend. But when he's got it, obviously just his strength on the puck, his ability to make plays blindly of knowing where people are, it's a pretty remarkable skill.
What's been your most memorable moment against him so far, if anything pops out?
I think it's hard to say what pops out. I mean, got to do that camp with him in Montreal 2 years ago. That was just a cool experience to be with a lot of high-end talent guys there, and just kind of seeing the week was with them, and off ice, on ice, just how they treat themselves and stuff like that. So that was probably the coolest one I've had of memory-wise.
How do you approach this little quirk in the schedule, the back-to-back at home? I don't see that very often.
Yeah, just make sure you don't get too ahead of yourself. Make sure you stay in the moment. Make sure you get ready for Friday's game, and then after that, try and just recover as best you can. Be ready for another one.
Does it mean that Matt Murray is pretty close to coming back?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, Shalley's done a great job of that, owning that crease, that net when he's in the net, and we got a lot of confidence in any goalie that's been in net for us, and rightful so. I mean, they've done a great job for us and kept us in a lot of games, and probably won us a couple of games with their saves. And it's great to see Murray back. Obviously, he's a big piece of this team. We brought him in for a reason to be something special here. So it's nice to see him almost back and being back on the ice with the guys and just enjoying all this stuff again.
On the Lilligren goal, the setup, you said I think the other night that you either saw the ice or you saw his eyes. How did you know he was going to be open on that play?
Yeah, it just came to the middle. I saw him there.
Okay.
I saw him there, and then I saw Mo coming down, and I was hoping Mo left it, and he did. And Lily got it on off his stick quickly and hit the net. And good things happen sometimes like that.
We always see you on your shot at one timer at the end of practice. You only needed one today?
Yeah, I mean, I just play around with it. me and Manny have a little thing of, if we think it's a goal, then that's all you need. So only took one, but it usually takes about 15. So just working on trying to get it consistent and trusted that you get moments like that in games that it's more so I think for me just trying to get it on net, trying to surprise goalies like that. So I'm not really obviously going to be the guy that's taking a 100-mile-an-hour one-timer or going bar down, so it doesn't happen often. It's just more so me getting into the net, trying to fool goalies, trying to put it in spots that they might not expect.
Matt, sorry to be that guy, but how are you feeling today? How did today's practice go?
No, it was great. I don't have much else to say again other than it's kind of a day-to-day process right now. So today felt really, really good.
What do you want to feel, I guess, that will tell you that it's all ready to go play a game?
Again, just taking things one day at a time. It's important to do things right in these scenarios. Get a little bit more practice time under my belt. That's what these last 2 days have been great for. So again, it's feeling really good.
You know your body better than anyone else, I imagine. In that situation when you're talking to trainers, is it just a collaboration of getting the go-ahead, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of that for sure. These guys are top notch. Like I keep saying, they're going to put us in the best possible position to do things the right way and to make sure that that we're fully healthy before going back on the ice. So it's definitely input from all sides. So it's a group decision.
I doubt you're playing tomorrow, obviously, but still, it is the Penguins in town. What goes through your mind when you hear the words Pittsburgh Penguins?
First of all, just a dangerous group. They're a heck of a team. Obviously, I know. Obviously, there's been a lot of turnover since I was there, but they've always been just a super dangerous team. Offensively, defensively, they got a lot of depth. The same stuff that you've been hearing for years. So it's a heck of a hockey team. That's my first thought.
Has Eric asked you for any advice or picked your brain about what to expect from the big guys over there?
Has who? Sorry,
Eric Sheldon. Yeah, what to expect?
No, I think he's a pro. He knows what to expect. So he's been playing great for us, and he knows what he's doing.
Who in that organization, the Penguins organization, would you look back to fondly as somebody that really helped develop you or bring you up or coach you? Or who would that be?
I mean, I was so lucky for my time there just to spend time with so many great players, coaches, staff. That's where I started my career. That's where I was drafted, and it's a big part of who I am. So I have many people that I got to spend time around, and I'm very thankful for it.
What do you think of what Sid's doing with the age he is and making the adjustments and still dominating on it?
Yeah, you can't say enough about Sid. Just that's the kind of person that he is. First and foremost is, he's always going to push himself to be better and lead the way. That's what makes him such a good player, such a good captain, such a good leader, and you can't say enough good things about him.
You see any similarities between the leadership in that room back then when you guys were going for your cups and what you see in this room now?
Absolutely, yeah. We had great leadership in this room. Guys that have been through a lot, guys that have grown a lot, guys that have learned, and obviously a ton of skill and a ton of all of that stuff. And our character in here is top notch.
After going through what you've gone through, what's your sense of anticipation to get back in a game?
Like I said, I'm focusing one day at a time, just doing things right. That's the biggest thing right now is, making sure I'm fully ready to go before jumping in, doing things the right way, and taking it one day at a time.
Matt, when you're out, and this would be something applicable to Pittsburgh too, I mean, do you watch, stew, think about, worry? Like, how do you put your mind to work, getting mental reps or just doing anything you can that's not physical to stay involved?
Yeah, all that stuff is important. Even especially when you can't dress or get on the ice at all, I think it's good to go out, just watch reps, stand behind the net type of thing, watch the puck. Again, these guys here, the medical staff and the rehab team, we got a lot of tools at our disposal and a lot of great people. We got a lot of things that you can use even when you're not on the ice to keep getting better. That's the goal each and every day is to keep getting better, and you use what you can. So when you can't get on the ice, you do whatever you can off the ice.
Obviously won the cup twice in Pittsburgh and done other things along the way. But I mean, how much does that fire still burn inside you to show, to play a full season, to overcome an injury, to continually prove yourself?
Yeah, I think that's why we play. Again, I take things one day at a time. I just try to keep getting better and better. as you get older, that becomes more and more important. So that's where my focus lies, and I'm just trying to be a better person, a better teammate, better goaltender, better everything each and every day.
What was the plan today, Matt? Like, was it a little different than yesterday in terms of doing extra work afterwards and maybe splitting some of the reps in the regular practice? Like, what was your kind of outlook going into this practice?
Yeah, it was a bit of a different practice structurally. Not a ton of reps for us goalies. It was a lot of system type stuff, which I figured being the second practice in a row. So just getting what we can out there. We were doing a bit of a 3 goalie rotation, making sure everybody was getting their reps in.
What stands out to you about Keefe?
Other than his height, he's a big kid. But for that size, he's incredibly athletic and agile. Reminds me a lot of myself, honestly, growing up. I mean, younger and same kind of body type. So, really good kid. Really, obviously looks like he's eager to learn and eager to improve. And it's been fun getting to know him a little bit.
Sheldon, you mentioned after the game Tuesday, that second period sequence, the best Mitch has looked all season. Obviously, we see the eye-catching plays. Is there anything else that goes into that makes that the best he's played this year?
I think you can just kind of feel it. There was a couple moments prior to his goal, a couple shifts previous to that where he came flying through the neutral zone and made a play and generated a shot towards the net and just started to look like Mitch at his best. He's got a little extra, like another gear offensively in terms of how his feet move, but also with how his feet, his hands, and his brain work together, and they seem to be in sync in that moment, and that continued through the game, and I thought made a huge difference in the turn of the game for us in terms of time spent in the offensive zone, us being dangerous in the offensive zone. That's what he's capable of doing, and for whatever reason, it's taken some time to get there, but it was certainly nice to see, and the hope is that it's going to just continue, and he'll build momentum from there. That has been the case for him in previous seasons, so we've got confidence that will continue.
What has been why has the camp line been effective in your mind?
Kemp himself is a guy we know very well from his time with us last season that he's very reliable, consistent in his play, and then Auston Matthews I think has shown through his career to be very similar in that sense. And the more that those guys have played together, I think they're learning how to work well together, and they're building the chemistry that it takes to be that type of a line that can play against really hard competition with tough defensive zone starts, still spend time in the offensive side of the red line. And then Malgin's inclusion in the group, as we've talked about, has brought in another layer or another level of skill to it that's kept them on offense even more and kept the puck away from good players. So I think just the way that the three of them have worked together and a little bit of chemistry coming together, and that's what you get. That's what we had envisioned for that line. Obviously, we were very familiar with how we utilized Cam last season, and we expected it to be similar this season. And it's taken a little bit of time to find the right mix, and right now we're happy with Malgin there. I mean, the reality is if Malgin keeps playing the way that he has, he's probably going to elevate in the lineup, but at the same time, I'm hesitant to do that because it's working so well in that role.
Has it been a challenge for the other bottom six line to get some consistency there in terms of finding the right dynamic with guys like Calle Yarncroc and here?
Yeah, that's fair to say. As you can tell from the number of players that have played there, and the positions have been different. We've used different people at center. That's a work in progress. For me and for our team to find that right mix. So that's something we'll continue to work towards. I have liked Pierre in the middle. I know that his preference is still to be on the wing, but we need him in the middle right now, and I've liked what he's brought there for us. Yarncroc's a guy that, again, like Auston Reese and Malgin, these guys that have come in that are new, we're trying to find the right spot for them. Yarny, for me, has played well yet hasn't seemed to have found real chemistry with any sort of line, hasn't gotten any real rhythm. Part of that perhaps is me moving him around. Part of it is just maybe him just being new and kind of finding his game. Yet inside all of that, when I watch him, I like a lot of things that he's doing. He's scored some great goals for us, produced well there. He's responsible defensively and just done a good job on the penalty kill. So there's little things that he's bringing, despite the fact I think that he still has more. And maybe when we get that line figured out, that will be helpful.
What do you like about Pierre?
Just the speed that he has and the size, you know. He's not an easy guy to move around the offensive zone. You get playing down low below the dots in the offensive zone, if you're the opposition and you're in the offensive zone, he's a hard guy to get through and to move around. He gets in the way. And then when he gets the puck, he does a really good job of skating it out of the zone and making a play on it. So, those are the things that he brings there. I think you lose some of the fact that he can really get ahead of the play and push the pace offensively from the wing, and he gets ahead of it and his F1 on the forecheck and get on top of the puck first. But we need him in the middle right now, and I've liked what we've seen from that. I suspect he'll be a guy that will continue to move around and spend time with the camp line as well. But as we're trying to find the right mix, really with the top three lines, I would say at this point, that's the mix that we're going to stay with for a little bit here.
When you started
Are you seeing the desired result so far? I know it's still early, but having TJ Brodie and Justin Hall together?
We have, yeah. I think that Justin Hall's game has really stabilized since being put with Brodie, and Brodes has that ability. It seems to really help his partner. Usually spend less time in the defensive side of the red line, and they kill plays quicker. He very rarely puts his partner in bad spots, and if his partner puts TJ in a bad spot, he does a good job of cleaning it up. So that's really helped there, and that's been important for us as we look to the other pairs. Rowdy and Illigren is a new pair for us, and we've tried to give that some time here, and we've liked that as well. And we think it can, as they get more comfortable playing together, that can continue to improve. And it seems like whoever's played with Gio has done a pretty good job for us. So it's not ideal for us to have Brodie playing the left side because he's the most comfortable left-hander playing on the right. But I think this balance makes sense for us for the time being.
So Marvel at Crosby, given he's in mid-30, 35 now, Sheldon 20 million, and making the adjustments and all this sort of thing. I guess it's not really surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him that well, but it's when from the outside, you see how he trains, how he prepares, how serious he takes his craft, and then his ability that he has, and how competitive he is on the ice, and all those things add up to being a guy that seems like he could play forever and still be productive. So certainly presents a lot of challenge. We're going to see a lot of him here the rest of the month.
When you started the camp line the other night, was that a reward for what they had done against Carolina, or a way of making sure they get minutes in before penalties take over?
I mean, it's partially that they were as good a line as we had the night before. Also, Vegas started their fourth line as well, so it's kind of sort of getting your matchup going right away. So all of those things just kind of adding up toward that, being what makes sense.
Where do things stand when it comes to the starter for, I'm assuming, Sheldon tomorrow?
Sheldon tomorrow, and I really don't have much of an update on Murray today. He seemed like he was on the ice forever, so I haven't gotten much from how his day went today and how he was feeling or anything. Not that we were going to make the call today anyhow, because it is a day-to-day thing, and Sheldon tomorrow, so we're not making any sort of decision on Saturday here yet, but it seems like it was another good day for him, and we stayed on the ice and got some extra work in even, and all that's positive. But like we talked about yesterday, he and the medical team will make the appropriate decision, but he's clearly day-to-day at this point, and return is around the corner for sure. As to when the exact day is, we'll make that decision when the time comes.